Welcome to the AEW Dynamite preview. We are the Dadley Boyz of WhatCulture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events, we have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to look ahead to Dynamite tonight and the go-home show, ahead of the go-home show for AEW Dynasty. They're in Canada, so.
You're not having that. A couple of flat weeks for Dynamite after an exceptional Revolution pay-per-view and some red-hot Dynamites leading into it. That doesn't really dampen my wider enthusiasm for the product. There's at least 4 mid-cards, so that's annoying. But what's good is good, and this lineup's pretty decent as well. There's a pretty irrelevant match buried in there, but there's a reason why they've booked it. There's a really, really, really awesome match on paper. I'm really, really looking forward to watching for more than the obvious match quality. And there's a pretty scary omen that has been reported in the news of late that we will get to.
I was going to say, where do you want to start? Do you want to start about talking about something that's not even on this card?
Wherever you like.
We might as well. Get some negativity out of the way so we can hopefully end on a higher note.
Or the opposite, whatever you think. Some viewers may love this. Viewers and listeners may love this.
Listeners, come viewers.
Yeah.
Well, you will, because you're a prick.
Well, there's potential for 2 returns on this show, I suppose, but I sense the one you're alluding to is one Chris Jericho.
Okay, a bit of context for those who are not chronically online. The whispers and then very loud conversations as it pertains to Chris Jericho departing AEW for WWE have quietened down considerably. There were reports that he was basically a lock to go to the Fed at the turn of the year before it was reported by, I can't remember, I'm sorry, I hate doing that, that his contract has indeed been frozen. And look, I would have done it out of spite. If I'm Tony Khan, got it right, and I'm dealing with Chris Jericho, and, want to weigh Chris Jericho reportedly, and I see the shape that he's gotten himself into. I know I've hammered this. I'm going to do it again. I don't care. He looks like Jim Caviezel in The Passion of the Christ. That's how toned and slim and defined he's looking right now.
Passion of the Chris.
The Passion of the Chris. Getting ready for his move to the Fed. I would say, all right, okay, I'm going to find any little loophole I can to prevent you from doing that. It is a disgrace because Jericho has only looked vaguely in that cosmetic shape twice in, what was it, a 6-year AEW run?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was irritating, at least for me. So I would have done it out of spite. But then an interesting trademark was filed not too long ago where amid suggestions or rumors, whispers that, maybe this Fed stuff ain't happening, Chris Jericho has filed a trademark for the Cornerstone or Cornerstone. Now, I cannot imagine him going to WWE and using this trademark for his WWE character because quite famously, and he's argued with Triple H about this before, online, on Twitter, he has never really been the cornerstone of WWE. Triple H, in a sort of veiled, fictional, but he meant it, chat to Daniel Bryan in 2013, said that Daniel Bryan was a bit like Chris Jericho, Edge, and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. Like,
you're a great hand, Daniel, but, you're not really the guy. We don't really see you as the guy. You can have your great matches and this authority stuff at the time. So he's never been the cornerstone. He famously won the belt, or infamously won the belts, at Vengeance 2001. transitional champion to make Triple H the top babyface of the company. See how that worked out.
Hey, take. The business is dead when we're putting the belt on Jericho.
That's what Vince said.
That's what he was told in catering
on
Was
the
that-
day of the pay per view.
Was that also the show? I might have got these confused with other ones where he wins, walks back through the curtain, and everyone's left.
Yeah. He gets locked out of his hotel room while he's
That's
ordered
it.
pizza or something, and his championship meal is cold pizza outside the hotel room that he can't convince the hotel to let him back in for because it's registered to a different name. And he's like, I'm the champion of the world. Is that anything?
I'm champion of the world.
It's the world.
I'm the champions of the world.
The belts are in my room, but in a situation.
So he's not. He cannot claim to be, nor has he ever been, the cornerstone of WWE. So that's sort of that would be a bizarre, inexplicable gimmick. He can and might refer to himself as the cornerstone of AEW because he means it as well when he's said it several times over the years in media interviews and on podcasts. This thing might exist without me. It wouldn't have been legitimized without me. It probably wouldn't have happened, at least on a TV scale, without me. It was nice. They got the ball rolling, those guys in the Elite, but they needed Chris Jericho, and he will refer to himself in the third person, for it to be as big and as successful as it was. He was the bridge to the casual fan and the publicity and all the rest of it, and he's got a significant claim to that. I'm not denying that, right? It's a very Chris Jericho coded trademark, and I know that sounds obvious considering he himself has purportedly filed it.
Pillars of AEW as well, obviously.
But he is
Building stuff, is it?
Yeah. But it's the kind of thing that he would claim to.
Yeah.
It's almost certainly the kind of character he would love to pitch and portray. And it's sort of, here's my take on it, right? And maybe I'm coping. I don't necessarily want to see him in AEW again. He did everything there was to do. He inexplicably, again, is the word I'm going to use here. It's one thing for your stated mission as a wrestler, as the person portraying the character, right? I've done my title run. There's not a particularly huge appetite for me to be the top guy again. What can Chris Jericho do? I can elevate the next generation. It's one thing for him to say that privately, and that can be his goal. The fact that it became his character was so odd, really.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Mm.
You're basically saying that it's fake and it's predetermined, and shouldn't you want to vie for championships and all these things? If he is going to come back on a short-term basis and have the Sting-esque retirement run, because surely he knows there's nothing else to do but go out on top and don't take the piss with it, is to come back. And this is a bit of a trick that wrestlers play when they're not as over as they used to be, when they are out of fashion. Sorry, I'll let you talk in a minute. Is that they basically say, sorry about that. And they say, MJF's done it, post-Devil. Other wrestlers have done it. Forget what came before. That was a bit rubbish. Sorry about that. I mean business starting from now, from the end of this sentence period. The trademark, and maybe he's not coming back, and maybe he is just crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It's like any negotiation. You want to put yourself in a position where you can have options and leverage your position. And if, in fact, he kind of has to resort to staying with AEW, either because that contract is frozen or that interest from the WWE side is cooled, you would be stupid not to develop plans in your head as to what to do if you are sort of presented with, right, you kind of have to do this, so make plans for this. It's your only option. If you're Chris Jericho, and people aren't going to like this, but maybe it is the best way of milking it, is getting the most out of Chris Jericho in AEW, when it seemed at one point like all sides were happy to go, yeah, we are done here, it is over, is to manipulate the sense of anxiety that AEW fans will feel about Chris Jericho returning, because the narrative is nowhere near as simple as this, but one way to look at AEW's increased popularity, the houses are getting better, there's a buzz around the promotion that certainly wasn't felt when Chris Jericho was around, is to have Chris Jericho on top. That intuitively feels like the last thing you want to see. But insofar as 2026 goes, when there's no real such thing, that's probably the best opportunity they have for heat. It's that Super Cena thing of, Christ almighty, not you again. Not you being exposed, overexposed at this level. We're sick of you. use that. Have Chris Jericho come back in a promo and say, I'm not here to elevate young guys. I am not here to be a good company guy and to try and get the next generation over. He can say this in more wrestling language, in more fictional language. I'm not here to work with the young guys, to elevate the young guys, to use my genius, because look how many of them have failed. The wonderful gifts that Chris Jericho bestowed upon them. I'm here to win that world title, whether you like it or not. I am the cornerstone of this promotion. This promotion would not exist without Chris Jericho. I am here to win matches, earn money, and win championships, whether you like it or not. Then what you can do is reheat Chris Jericho, because in 2025, he was getting beaten like a drum over and over again to build up Hook or Ricky Starks or whoever. Say that's all done. We have Chris Jericho return, and obviously we are in Winnipeg tonight in AEW Dynamite. It's just so... It just doesn't feel like a coincidence that this trademark has been filed so close to his hometown being the site of Dynamite. Have him come back. Have him target someone he can beat. Someone beatable right now in AEW on the babyface side. Win, and then win again. And Christ almighty, they're serious with this Chris Jericho thing. He is winning matches. Have it. If you're going to go all the way with this, and I've got a destination for this potential fantasy booking storyline, if the idea is you resent Chris Jericho and he's actually putting his thumb on the younger guys, the people who could break through and potentially main event and all of this, you kind of have to have him beat someone who's half beloved, who's half considered like a real prospect who could main event. I don't know who that babyface is at the top of my head. You can, I'm sorry, I will let you talk at some point. You can pitch a name for us. Have him beat one or two of these guys and say, oh Christ, they're mean business with this Chris Jericho thing. He's beating the younger guys now. And then when he's got the wins, he is reestablished as, oh my God, he's a winner now, because that was dead for about, 3 years at least?
Yeah.
Then he gets the pay-per-view title match with Will Ospreay post All in London, and that's a big main event you've got for deeper in the year.
Yeah.
Who could he beat, if in fact this happens? And what are your thoughts on it generally?
I was thinking Hangman Page when you said who could he beat, because it takes you all the way back to when he first became the cornerstone of AEW by beating Hangman Page.
That's
back when,
not a bad idea at all.
Because you need a babyface who is of
People
that level.
would
But
hate that as well.
like if you're doubling down on all this heat, you know.
Yeah, and it's not as if Hangman Page needs to win right now.
No,
if anything, it's good that he loses. But he's taking time off.
He's just gone for now then.
For now, according to Fightful Select, I think it was, who reported that.
So there was a real, if you're on my side of the divide, there was a real dread it run from it feeling to the Chris Jericho reporting at the back end of last year. To Sidge's point, like, I didn't particularly want him back in WWE, but it did seem like that all parties satisfied situation, didn't it? Like, you might as well get like a Y2J run to WrestleMania. There was nothing to do in AEW. You know, there was ways for both sides to make the best of this. This news and, you know, the Cornerstone trademark and all that has made me think, do we still get that, but is everything on a delay? And as Chris Jericho won the ultimate game here, the contract was frozen. So as he found a way to kind of say to Tony Khan, we all know what's happening here, but I've been in the game long enough. You know the deal, I know the deal. Let's say this is an 8-month freezer situation. Let's see this 8 months. Let's make the 8 months work. Like, let's actually, like, my value is not going to go down if I'm a featured presence. So WWE is still getting, we know what's happening. I'm going back. Like, it nearly happened here, but you froze my contract. Like, what if there's an actual bit of collaboration here? You know, like a mutually beneficial situation for the two of them. Tony Khan can't stop Chris Jericho doing what he wants the second that, like, ticks over midnight and he's an independent contractor again. But
you'll get massive heat if he comes back because no one wants it, and therein lies the point.
Like, maybe Jericho's played a blinder here and has said, right, I've got 8 months that I've got to work back. I don't know how I've come with that figure, but, you know, generally speaking, frozen contracts means it's like a specific period of time, like under a year or something, doesn't it? And in that time, he does that. That exact sort of run that Sid just said. You don't need to belt him up at the end of it, but he actually manages to do what... End. Well, yeah, like, he actually manages to do potentially what he tried, sort of, and failed to do it over and over again, which is leave behind like 3 guys that have gotten over or have benefited from actually working with them, as opposed to all the times it failed. I'm I'm pretty glad that like Jericho's not coming back to WWE anytime soon. But
Well,
like,
he might be. That's the thing we don't
Yeah.
know. It's just that trademark just felt very much like, of course he's going to play this character in AEW. He might not be.
If it was going to happen, do you think it'll happen tonight, considering we are going to talk about another potential return on this show as well, or at the Rogers Center for AEW Dynasty?
just sorry.
Because you might get the babyface reaction tonight, which you don't want if, in fact, he's going to play that heel Cornerstone character. Because surely, I know the wrestling rule is if you are out for ages, your value is more felt in your absence than in your presence.
Yeah.
I think Jericho's a different case. Unless it's in Winnipeg, surely he's getting booed.
Where's Dynamite next week? I know kind of it's a big country,
That's a
but
good
it's weird that
question.
they're in Winnipeg here, Dynasty, Vancouver next Saturday, and they could potentially be back in America or something for it. I'm just thinking, is this a Canadian loop, a 2-week run or something like the?
So obviously, sorry, if people are unaware, I just want to get this timeline correct.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sunday, April 12th, Rogers Arena,
Where are they tonight?
Canada Wife Centre in Winnipeg, Canada Life Centre.
That's right.
To work with there. So they're there, Rogers Arena, but they're in Rogers Place for Dynamite in Edmonton next week.
Yes, it's a full Canadian
Full
fortnight.
Roger in that
basically.
is.
Yeah. Could it be?
Well, I was going to say, could he come out? I liked the Ospreay match. In terms of, in my head, keeping Will Ospreay busy. When's the Owen?
It starts, the cycle will start, if like last year's any indication, almost immediately after Dynasty Dynasty.
I was going to say, he could come out as Ospreay's beating up Mox at the Pape and be like,
Would Winnipeg not be the destination to drop the video, and then you have two
Yes.
videos, and then you sell the pay-per-view? One of the things is going
like
to
a
be the Chris Jericho.
mysterious
cryptic code.
and everybody gets it. Yeah,
It
get
gets
the code. Like,
It's not really in Khan's playbook. That he's
in
done.
Jericho's, though, isn't it?
It is. It's. I think Khan's done it once, like a mystery vignette. Well, once or twice. There was a one for Wardlow. Hologram was like, oh, what the hell's that?
oh yeah.
I suppose he did the first dance and stuff, so he's not completely afraid of the art of promotion. But
Christian at Revolution 2021. I know it was weird and janky with the Big Show promo thing, but
the Big Show basically had to say it's not CM Punk. It's not CM Punk, but it's good, guys. Buy the paper.
the principle was the same, wasn't it? Yeah, buy the pay-per-view. Somebody's coming. Like, Jericho loves all this, doesn't he? Like 2 Canadian weeks to get the buildings fired up for it, and then you sell a few more, and he can claim those buys then as well, can't he? You can say, well, it was a big hook. You know?
If this does happen, it's funny that he was already twerking for TNA on that podcast. And now he's had to do this. Have some dignity.
What was it? Oh, sorry, I was just trying to find the code, and I've just found the video. I want to watch again now. Jim Ross reacting to Chris
What's the
Jericho.
code?
Bobby Lashley. X + 1, 2, 9 or something, wasn't it?
It was the one they kept going to was Save Us 222, wasn't it? So that like the first 2 changed to Y and the last 2 changed to J. Ooh. Like it's fun. It was fun in the moment. I'm not going to deny it. It's like we joke about gabos in wrestling and stuff, but like they're pretty effective.
Yeah,
And it became
yeah.
a talking point. You could buy a T-shirt that just said Save Us 222. Like it was off to the races, wasn't it? Straight away.
We will talk about another potential return on this show a little bit later, but let's look ahead to Dynasty with the contract signing tonight between MJF and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I mean, based on last week, I am not looking forward to this at all. Like, it's Kenny Omega almost feels like he's an enigma. When he is a heel, he can do this.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in 2021. He was fantastic. Belt collector. Fantastic as that top guy and all that entails with like you're in promo segments. You've got a live mic virtually every single week. You are the top guy. He was exceptional. When he's sort of able to sort of do a parody of that and play dickhead pro wrestler who has an ego, but it's misplaced. He's cheating to win and did it. Amazing, right? in the press conference setting in New Japan, he was an unbelievable all-rounder. He knows how good he is, right? He knows he's amazing. He knows how good he is as well relative to everybody else. Hence the reports of that I would not have hired 80% of you. Wasn't it when like Ospreay was sat there? He was like, "Oh, I'd hire him. He's great." But there's too many of you here that I wouldn't have hired.
Yeah.
I'd hire you. I'd hire you.
So he's very much aware of his incredible ability, and he can talk this up in media interviews. I remember a quote, right, where he's not usually the kind of person to puffed chest, giving it the big un, third person his own name. But it was in the wake of Forbidden Door 2023 when there was that big sort of furore about him taking like a really, really nasty looking Tiger Driver 91. And he was responding to that. And he said, look, my thing is I'm great. And I want the audience to think, get an ambulance, this guy's dead, actually get an airlift. This dude needs to go to the hospital. I know what I'm doing. You do not.
I remember that.
Do not tell Tyson Smith how to wrestle. Yeah. Thank you very much. So he knows how good he is. He's not afraid to express how good he is. And yet, when in AEW, he is playing that sort of enduring babyface legend who still got it, he's weirdly sort of tentative on the mic. He can't commit to saying, I'm the best. He doesn't have that belief in himself. And I don't know, like, he's weirdly humble at the same time. Like, I think he knows how good he is, but he knows how it can be off-putting to keep saying it, even though his persona is the best bout machine. He's an odd guy. My favorite of all time here. He is an odd guy. He cannot, with a microphone in his hand, as a babyface in AEW, playing the guy who needs to convince me and the entire world, of course I'm taking that belt off MJF. Kenny Omega, bitch. He just can't believe it. And because he doesn't believe it, I don't believe it either. They've got a job on their hands to sell this pay-per-view. Do they? AEW pay-per-views tend to be bought in really impressive number by the same amount of people every single month, right? Yes. It's not. The stakes aren't really sort of like, my God, they need to sell this pay-per-view. That doesn't really exist in the mainstream US and hasn't for quite some time. So you got to be careful, I guess, about being hysterical about it. But
it's a momentum thing with MJF's title run, isn't it?
This
is the middle of a very, very good title reign and prosperous for the company at large. And if there's a little bump in the road, your name gets attached to that, doesn't it? This was good. The Omega thing, you know, like
people also buy into Kenny Omega winning here.
Well, that's the thing.
It's turned me around in this last week. I will say that.
You think it's not happening anymore?
No. Well, I was so certain MJF was going to win, and then like shout out to Travis, like long-standing listener,
viewer,
thank you, who basically turned me around on the idea of it because of the prospect of Ospreay and Omega at Wembley in that like perfect trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, Japan, Canada, England.
Yeah.
And like we always talk about how the Kenny Omega singles match in England will never seemingly happen.
An Omega singles match at Wembley.
I know.
Like he's never, it's become almost like a known, maybe it's not become a known thing, but it feels known when we talk about it. Like he's never going to wrestle a singles match this side of water ever. And he might. And what a match that would be against Ospreay. And he puts Ospreay over and, you
that match being feasible and genuinely a potential ticket mover.
Which it is, I think.
It's not got the same iconic, you're going to see the best thing you've ever seen essence as like Omega Okada, but those first two matches are legendary, like pretty legendary. And the fact that it's feasible that they would want to do that match on the match graphic alone, the fact that people know they're in for a classic, the fact that Kenny Omega doing a singles match in England is itself hopefully a draw. That match being feasible is doing so much more work than Kenny Omega's promo game in this rivalry to sell me on the idea that there could be a title change at Dynasty. I need Kenny Omega to drop his humility at the door, walk into Winnipeg, where he's going to get an unbelievable reaction. And actually, and I know he's barely done it in AEW with a microphone in his hand. He's done it in the ring. He has got pops out the ass by kicking out stuff at one. He can play the babyface to immaculate, like seminal, unforgettable effect between the ropes in an AEW ring. Put a microphone in his hand, and it's just so damp It's like the opposite of fire. It is damp. It's moist.
How does this relate to the fact he's also in action tonight as well?
Well, that's funny.
Because I like the idea, because I was going to ask you about the look from Kenny Omega, because you sense MJF's probably wearing a suit. Let's just guess, right? But then I thought, oh God, I hope we don't get, Crocs Kenny Omega or whatever it is. But then I was like, I don't know, sports glass Kenny Omega post match might be quite fun. Like the meet, like they're straight out for the contract signing.
Did last week, didn't he? He killed it with a line. Like, I stink, but so do you. So
yeah, don't say MJF smells.
But I know you stink, but what am I? What? I know I'm interested in the old sequence thing.
Because you've got, just to the end, let people know, Kenny Omega, Brody King, and Jungle Jack Perry versus The Demand, which is, of course, Bishop Quine, Toa Leona, and Ricochet.
Uh-huh.
I got a pitch for the contract signing. Don't care about this match. I got a pitch for the contract signing.
I care about this match.
Good. And the listeners will enjoy that subsequently. Where are they?
Winnipeg.
You idiot.
No. Who has MJF very recently been working with?
John Cruz.
Better.
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Better. Not working with, sorry, in the storylines. Aligned with, should I say.
Oh, Don Callis.
They redo the Hangman Page switcheroo on Kenny with the Don Callis as the hidden cameraman in Winnipeg. Get that, like, they love their being the Winnipeg. It was him, Jericho, and Omega, wasn't it? The three of them. The Winnipeg guys that made
it.
It's
Andrade, but he's just in his sexy pants. You're like, God, that's a sexy cameraman right there.
Also,
wait a second, that's Andrade.
Also fine, because he was one that was paid to do it. But it was Kenny's old plan, but he's not thought about it anymore, and MJF's getting in it. So, like, nice little callback to that. And
what's Frank Spencer doing filming this thing? Oh, Betty.
So,
the camera.
I don't know how they sequence this, but I am interested to find out. Here's another thing. Tony Khan is showing his hand. Because...
Is that a thing?
It's now.
It is now. It almost certainly is now. In that, MJF, Speedball is... And I know they did the thing last week where Omega and Speedball interacted. So they're letting you know, this match could happen as well as MJF versus Speedball. So I appreciated that detail. But MJF's also got business with Darby Allin. It's way too soon to do Darby Allin versus MJF. So that's going to happen after the Kenny Omega match at Dynasty. Meanwhile, Ricochet is targeting Kenny Omega, with the idea being that should be going for titles, not this guy, and So that feels like they're setting up Kenny versus Ricochet and MJF versus Darby for Double or Nothing. What's the rush? What is the rush?
Mm-hmm.
Because why does he book like this constantly?
So you can sort of see past what's happening.
That's the thing. I know it's linear episodic television, and getting people excited about directions is a thing, and Michael Hamflett will be the first to tell you that.
What's Hamflett's direction erection?
Yes.
Because that's, often way more fascinating. Sid just laid it all out.
But why do it? What's the rush, man? All you're doing is telling me, that's what's happening at the pay-per-view.
It's the good and bad version that you talk about, because the Speedball one is the good one. I loved that Speedball and Kenny had an interaction. That has, to me, tied all that up. It's like, I want both matches, and I'm going to get
which one of them. Which one am I going to get?
Yeah, that's the way to do it correctly, I think.
This Ricochet thing, maybe it's just a little detour just to get Kenny in the ring in Winnipeg, like a hot match that eats up some time on Dynamite, where Kenny doesn't have to do much because he's in a trios match. Maybe I'm being cynical before it's warranted, but... Yes.
Do you know what I've been noticing?
What's this?
Not saying it could happen tonight, although it could. There's a version of events that I think could be very funny, and I'll lay it out in a second. Quan and Leona split from Ricochet because he's been a prick to one of them.
Yeah.
It was Quan, wasn't it, recently? And I like
Where did that come from?
I like the idea
Collision.
of him...
Collision, probably.
Yeah, him being like, guys, where are you going? Like, he, snaps and just like, slaps Bishop Quan. He's like, I'm not, who do you think you're doing that to? See you later. Leona, like, walks out with him. And I just like the visual of him being like, guys, where are you going? I thought we were going to kill Kenny Omega. And then he gets, V-trigger in the back of the head like Rocky Romero.
Like that.
I like that. Look, Kenny Ricochet as a direction is something I really like, because Ricochet can go 50-50 in AEW for me. but Kenny, despite being, he's still great, noticeably slower, but not really visibly struggling through the matches. I kind of think we're in the best we're going to get with Kenny right now. Ricochet as an opponent will be amazing at that Rocky Romero-esque stooging, selling, and making himself look like a tit. And
poor guy, as he realizes, oh no, here it comes.
yeah, he's going to be great for creating movement for this version of Kenny.
Yeah.
So to circle back, what do you think happens as part of the contract signing? Is it just a straightforward bish bash bosh, see you in a couple of weeks?
Well, I think it happens after the match and Kenny gets blooded. I think they spring a trap. It's the same trap that Kenny used once before. Again, to call back when he was a world champion, he would see this thing coming. Now that he's just a challenger and he hasn't got that dog in him anymore, he wouldn't even think about it,
It's one of those where I think it's going to look a little bit contrived regardless of how they do it. But say the contract signing either opens a show or goes to the top of the hour, and Kenny Omega is in a suit and he's taking it seriously. Please, Kenny, you look great in a suit. And MJF's in a suit as well. And maybe they do the Don Callis redo, which I love that idea. And then Kenny gets bloody during the contract signing, microphone to the head, and like runs the razor, and like he's in a suit, dripping with blood, and And then wouldn't you just know it? Oh, the match is scheduled for now.
Yes.
Oh, so you've okay.
Who could have possibly thought this is the way it's going to be? And then MJF maybe is laughing his head off, taking a position on commentary.
Yeah.
Like, look, he's going to lose this match, going to have the loss of momentum that comes with it, and he's injured. This could not be going any better for me. And then, oh, hang on, Kenny's getting back into it.
Right on Mid-South, that, isn't it? Like Kenny working in suit trousers, bloodied up with the bandage half hanging off.
He needs the pressure bandage.
That's it.
And then he's, oh my God, Kenny, he shouldn't be winning because he's bloodied and he's not even in his wrestling gear. And you've got all these visual clues of like, well, he's not ready and he's injured. And oh my God, Kenny Omega's going to win.
And then MJF leaves commentary to try and cost him the match again. Brody King just steps up and like, no.
Stands in front of him, locks it off.
I remember what happened last time. Yep, I might have beaten you in the title match, but I remember also the 10-second.
A really fun, like half an hour block of
that could
TV
be great,
that would be around
good
this
booking.
main event.
There's some good booking.
There you go.
Oh, it's coming together.
Although, typical of a Geordie to lie through his teeth. Not my words. The words of Will Ospreay, who takes on PAC tonight.
Was that? yeah, man, off. I haven't forgiven Mr. Ospreay. However, he will have a chance to redeem himself because his match is going to be absolutely a tits. Tits in a different way, though. Different tits, different needs. Because
this is different tits.
Their first... Actually, it's not their first match. What am I talking about? Didn't they, when it was revealed, PAC, they've eventually let him go from WWE. He's going to be PAC. He's going to Dragon Gate. He's going to do some indies. They're doing the dream match with Ospreay. Was it Rev Pro?
I think it was Rev Pro.
And it was the 30-minute draw.
Yeah. Because PAC wasn't doing finishes, was it, at the time?
No.
Well, pins.
Yeah. So they've had a match there. Then obviously they had one last year. Or maybe 2025. Either way, they've had an AEW pay-per-view match. I feel like it was All Out 2024.
Leave it with me.
Wrestle Dream or All Out. I'm tempted to say All Out 2024.
Oh.
Bingo! And it was absolutely incredible. They did that absolutely awesome sequence where the fans were like, oh, please do the Styles Clash. They started chanting for it, and then they did the Styles Clash. And Ospreay's way of doing those setups was absolutely genius at the time. It was every bit the match you would expect. This is different. This has got a bit more... Remember the M angle that they did to set it up where PAC did it... How does this even work? The sneak attack Poison Rana.
Oh, yeah.
That was tits, brother.
Oh, my God.
That was tits. Different tenet of this match, different aims, because there's a lot more of a heated personal issue with the fact that PAC was part of the Death Riders who have, ostensibly broke Ospreay's neck in storylines and put him on the shelf for however long.
Not only for the Death Riders to have a match tonight, obviously, with PAC in action. So definitely don't.
But definitely not. I'm definitely not going to go to sleep and wake up a dickhead at arsehole o'clock in the morning and then be, oh, here's Wednesday night. You know what that means. You were excited, Sidgwick, but guess what? It's John Moxley versus... Oh, did play the game again, actually.
AR Fox.
Definitely Moxley.
Definitely Moxley.
That's what I can think.
So this match, they need... Well, there was the reports that Ospreay is going to modify his in-ring style. He's probably going to 2002 Shawn Michaels that ass by emphasizing that his neck will never be the same again. Who better an opponent than PAC with a brutalizer? I want to see him agonize in that hold. I want to see him look terrified of getting trapped by it from PAC. The first match was very much, we've got Ospreay, how tits is this? Have him do 20 minutes on every single pay-per-view and go absolutely tits berserk. This is now more... Well, everyone knows that phrase, tits berserk. But now it's different. There's an emotional layer that is sort of... It's the YJ of it all.
What?
I've butchered the pronunciation, but that is the... the Chinese have the same word for crisis and opportunity. That is, in fact, the word. So it's a bit of a crisis.
What's
Your next
tits
bit.
berserk?
I'm a f***ing neck. I mean, that's not a pleasant ordeal. It's a crisis, but also it's an opportunity to expand that in-ring palette. So I want to feel like his neck is about to get ripped into all over again or re-injured or whatever. Milk, the brutalizer teasers. I'm really looking forward to this. They need to tell... it's a sporting promotion, AEW, and I still believe that to its core. And they get that when it counts. And I want the idea to be, I don't know if Ospreay's the same, and I'm actually worried for his neck in there. Tell that story, and then he's going to hook or by crook, win the own, but that's still, that critical hit zone is still existing.
I love the philosophy that Tony Khan and Will Ospreay both seem to have around Will Ospreay's return. Like, there would be nothing wrong.
It's very Kenny as well.
Yeah, well, there would be nothing inherently wrong from a promotional point of view to, like, use the last pay-per-view to promote Ospreay's return for Dynasty. And it would just be a month. You know, they did those video packages about his, like, he's coming back soon. And
I
all
thought
that.
they were going to do Ospreay PAC at Dynasty.
Well,
yeah.
and then you've got some sort of dream match, and then basically what I'm saying is everything over the last 3 weeks could have been stretched out over 3 months.
Way ahead. Mox could beat Ospreay at the Pape, and then they could rematch in the own final.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good point.
I really like that nothing feels like it's gone on pause. It's really committed. It's committed booking from Tony Khan, and it's a commitment to the cause from Will Ospreay. At least that's how I'm choosing to read it as a fan. That he comes back immediately in a very physical angle with Moxley, the guy who was taken out. They do PAC on television as a way to do Moxley at the pay-per-view. There's no saving anything. There's no sort of... His first match back is the Dynamite after the pay-per-view. They don't even say, like, we might hear from Will Ospreay, because it's like, no, he's straight back in the ring. He's going to win. It's only Blake Christian, but he's going to win
What's
this
his
TV match.
name again? I've forgotten it.
Who's?
Blake Christian.
It's Vanilla Baby.
It's just been thrilling, and that's the energy you've got to have around Will Ospreay between now and Wembley, is this guy that, like, can't and won't stop. Like, it's top babyface energy, ultimately, to never, ever be off the clock. And this is like... I love that this match is happening on TV, because I really want PAC for Dynasty. It's a great match, of course it is. Like, what isn't on an AEW pay-per-view? Like, the Moxley one's got the story. It's got the actual beef between the two. This is side beef, like
A small plate.
small plate. That's what television's for.
So it's like carpaccio.
What's that?
You'd love carpaccio.
What is it?
It's like the raw beef in it.
Then yeah,
I'd find it disgusting. Me, it's heathen take amongst the hardcore foodies. Who's the wonderful chef in Legends Lounge? A listener come viewer. Is it Jacob? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He would be disgusted. Bit of a humble brag, but for my missus's 30th birthday, nearly 11 years ago, Jesus Christ, where did the time go? I took her to a place called the Raby Hunt, and it was a Michelin starred. But like the 30th is a landmark, so you take these opportunities to treat yourself. And what I didn't know is that while it had a Michelin star, 2 weeks after we went, it was awarded a second Michelin star. So it was just in everything, but it was already awarded. It just hadn't been published yet. So I've been to 2 Michelin restaurants, and they did this thing. They're magicians, these high-end chefs, right? So they do this thing where it's like, it's not a gimmick. I sprung, again, it was the 30th for the wine pairings of the tasting menu. I have never in my life ever felt, it's hard to do eating and drinking at the same time to balance the level of full and drunk, so you keep wanting to drink and all the rest of it. I've never felt more full and more nicely pissed in my life.
I don't like booze with food. For that
You
reason,
would this night.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Where was I going with this?
Carpaccio.
Oh, yeah, but the only dish I didn't like on that, otherwise some of the best food I've ever had in my entire life, was they gave you like a raw beef. And I was just like, it's just slimy. Just slimy for me.
I can't get my head around this. Raw beef. Like, it's just red, pink, slushy meat.
Yeah. You get a little amount.
Yeah. Because I guess the idea with, like, steak and stuff is you're not even supposed to cook it that much, so this is an extension of that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It was just slimy to me. Very slimy.
That's what you're looking at right there.
No.
No, I didn't like it. I did not like it.
Who do you think wins out of PAC and Will Ospreay?
Will Ospreay, but he could potentially lose to Mox at Dynasty. That Hangman Page Double or Nothing 2021, that bitch.
I really like that idea. Like, he wins the match tonight, but he's like, my neck is really messed up.
PAC traps him in the brutalizer after the match, and the Death Riders put the boots to him or something.
Yeah.
It's not that like
weakening him ahead of it, and then like, because it's a Moxley consideration as well. Low-key political shark John Moxley isn't, he might say he's right to do it. It would add an interesting wrinkle to the storyline. It makes sense within this new Ospreay evolution for him to sort of like, my neck's not amazing, guys. It's great babyface work, potentially. It's pretty bold in a year of kind of bold booking for AEW, especially with this Hangman news, where it's like, oh, Christ, well, there's no heroes left. Hangman's off the board. Ospreay's just been taken out by Moxley. And then you're just enriching that journey. You keep Moxley a little bit hot because, he might say, well, I don't want to just willingly just do jobs for the next hot thing.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of context as to why that could be the route they take.
Moxley's title not being on the line, it's like a nice red herring for John Moxley then to win, isn't it? Because people we've rightly assumed, the belt's not on the line because you put that on Ospreay, you actually lower his status.
Yeah.
But then Moxley just wins anyway.
Yeah. And then he can do it in the Owen, which again the title wouldn't need to be on the line for that.
Considering we're a week and a half away from.
Sorry, one more thing. Is that not just a huge, gigantic, glowing signal?
Yeah.
To say, well, get rid of that title then.
Oh, yeah.
If you do not want to tarnish your potential world champion with a belt, maybe the belt shouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that, don't we, anyway? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, we're a week and a half away from Dynasty Dynasty. We only have 3 matches on the card.
Good.
Great matches.
Well, they're going to times 4 that bitch.
MJF Omega, Moxley Ospreay, and FTR and Copen Cage, obviously, for the tag team titles. You sense the one women's match on tonight's show could well be a gateway for a women's world title match with Tekla being involved, perhaps. What other matches do you think could be hoid on Dynasty Dynasty?
Right, well, who are they pushing? What do they want to do? Darby Allin is being prepped, it would seem, for a match against MJF for the title, and he's won an unsanctioned match against Gabe Kidd, which, if we're still paying attention and still caring about this sort of thing, means he has to have a big dub in the book on his record to then say to MJF, well, I can go for it now.
It's Drods, isn't it? Like, Drods is sent in to stop Darby getting close to MJF.
Yeah,
so they do that.
He beat Roosh and then he beat Andrade, and that would, in AEW land. So, Darby versus Drado. Mike Bailey. If they want, it's not really Tony Khan's deal, but look, if they want a punishment book Ricochet, or at least say you kind of have to eat a little bit of here, pal, because that was stupid what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Speedball beats Ricochet,
so
he can be in the mix.
They could run it back with Jack Perry and Ricochet, I've just thought as well.
No, they really can't.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
For the national title. Like, Ricochet is like, I never lost it in a one. I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying that they could.
Oh, they could, yeah. Jack Perry's... No, yeah, the thing with the Young Bucks where he just slid out, didn't he? That was... Yeah.
They still want the Bucks to be in that mix for the World Tag titles so they could beat... They could beat Gates of Agony at the pay-per-view. Doesn't scream pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
But Dynasty last year had a bit of a B feel to it, so... You get the best match of GOA's career.
This exists here in the calendar to get in before WrestleMania, doesn't it? Like and that's fine. But like that's why it's here, isn't it? We've got this really tight turnaround from Revolution to the start of April for Dynasty. So the B thing, I don't think, is the worst.
No,
thing. Like it's almost lowers the like we're doing the Raw review, and I was saying it's like some 6-man with the friggin' Usos and the Vision's going to end up on WrestleMania because that just sort of happens sometimes, and it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Dynasty is a show where you can do that. You
Yeah.
can put on like these tags that feel foregone conclusions because the big matches are still big. They're what are carrying the shows.
Before we get to the one women's match, we need to talk about the other potential return, really, on this show. And that brings us, of course, to... it's been a long time, this. Mercedes.
Money.
Who has, I think, the Owen belt, and I think one more, like, indie title left. She just lost another one last night in Winnipeg to, was it Jodie Threat?
yeah, if you like.
Murray said, I think it was. So she's running out of titles to defend.
And she's in town. Excellent.
Yes, it's got to be the launch of the babyface turn now.
Yeah.
So they've told the story of Mercedes Moné as a heel is sort of winning these vanity titles to hide from herself the fact that she cannot win the big one, and she's had 1 or 2 opportunities to do it. Certainly one at All In Texas last year. So they can tell the very basic story of I've lost everything, and the only way I can get everything back and finally win that world title is to stop cheating, to stop pretending that I'm the boss and actually become the boss and do it the right way, etc., etc., etc. Does that mean that whatever is going on with Toni Storm, had that not happened, that she would have actually been defeated by Tekla, so that Tekla could have had that one big scalp to really legitimize this reign, so that she feels like, it wouldn't feel like a foregone conclusion of like, oh, they've just given Tekla the title so Mercedes can beat her. So they can still do our version of that plan. But I don't think Tekla needed necessarily that win. People like her. People are into her. People are believing her. So, yeah, Tekla versus Merck for All in London 3.
Yeah.
Potential direction.
It's hard to map out Tekla's route there at the moment because they feel badly short. Is that just me? They feel badly short on baby faces for Tekla between now and Wembley.
Yes.
You certainly couldn't. Yeah, I mean, you can fake it, obviously. But if they've got a task here now of heating a babyface up for Dynasty, it's going to feel like what it is, which is just that like necessary evil of stat padding.
Tony Khan does have history of trying to sort of obscure that he doesn't do anywhere near enough a good job with the sufficient conviction to build an actual division, where he'll just import a wrestler with like name value who is known as a really strong in-ring talent. Was it Momo Watanabe last year that they used on pay-per-view for that reason?
Well, I don't know if he could, like, I don't know the availability of these two, but if he could press the Hikaru Shida and Riho buttons right now, he would do that, wouldn't he? Because they're 2 easy wins, credible ex-world champion baby faces. Like, they're not on-screen characters.
The real thing's over for me. It gives us no joy to say that, but she got next to nothing when she was programmed with Mercedes last year. Shida, every now and then she can give you a great match. That one against, was it Hayter or Toni Storm?
Storm in 24.
She's had a couple.
23, yeah.
She's had a couple. Well, more than a handful, really, but I still don't think it's that guaranteed. Oh, people love her. Really happy to see her back, and it just doesn't really happen, I don't think, with her anymore. You could have one of the Brawling Birds go for a singles title.
Yeah.
You could, in fact, have one and then the other, Dynasty, Double or Nothing, and then realize, you know what, we failed respectively at the last 2 pay-per-views. Are we not good? Well, why don't we go for the tag belts at All in London instead?
Yeah. You could get the tag belts onto the Sisters you've seen by then, so that the Triangle of Madness all go in with belts.
Ooh.
Just something to look at, innit? Like the idea that they're... No?
I don't think they're very good.
Me neither. but that's not.
As an act.
Yeah, it's
There's still something to each wrestler, but as an act, I'm done. Doesn't mean that Tony Khan is, though.
they
That
all
mean
they
that
all
basically
lose.
all the, but going into All In, that would basically mean that the big women's titles in AEW would kind of all be toxic.
To the core!
Yeah, Mercedes lost the WPW women's title to Jody Threat last night, and she now only holds the APAC women's championship and the Owen Hart, but that's not really a title. Obviously, you defend.
What triumph this whole thing has been. Brilliant for a character on screen. Exactly what she needed. Like, clearly loving her life, getting to do these indies in the first place. The reps were super beneficial. And now...
Probably making coin on top of that AEW coin track.
Just double coin.
That coin track?
That's good, yeah. Double, look at the fine print in your coin tract. Like, double coin tract. The indies have had 2 hot houses out of it. Done the job ski on the way, like, back. What just a triumph of the whole thing, all of this was.
Triumph's probably overstating it.
12 belts at one point, and she has to get a shot of them all. That's
I think Triumph's overstating it, but he did get those goated entrances.
loads of great entrances. But the indie promoters presumably will see it as a triumph, one by one. She hasn't won them all, got what she wanted out of it, and I'll send it back in the post, can't be asked.
Yeah.
If only she'd won a few more, and then she'd returned tonight and said, Tekla, I've got a question for you. Who are you going to nominate as your next challenger? Because I'm going 15-1.
That's where they've gone wrong with this. That would have been a triumph.
I haven't seen a British quiz show from about the 1990s. Yeah,
triumph retraction. That would have been a
loved
triumph.
15-1 back in the day.
Oh, William was a G.
Never watched it. Never watched it.
I
didn't watch it.
Nah.
I like
Lives gimmick.
In terms of quiz shows, I loved Weakest Link.
Yeah,
that was my one. That was my favourite.
It was a very of the era telly cruelty as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
Just Ann Robinson there, just dropping pipe bombs on all the contestants for no good reason.
Yeah, well, that's like the heel wrestling fan in me.
I loved I think it was Mitchell and Webb skewering of that, where she was like, "What do you do?" She's like, I'm a zookeeper. Is there much call for getting stuff wrong in a zoo? And he just goes, "What?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, maybe you should be in a zoo, you prick."
It's kind of how it went, didn't it?
It was, yeah. Well,
you are a stupid. Goodbye.
Thanks very much.
That's basically what you said.
Yeah. But except when she went up against, was it Kane who won the WWE?
It was either him or Val Venus, apparently.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Kane won one, and then because of politics, the final of the other one was Triple H versus Stephanie. I was
that
like,
makes sense.
You kidding me?
Too smart
Give me
people in the
weakest
ring.
link.
But let's talk about this women's match for tonight. It is the Brawl.
I hate you sometimes.
Brawling Birds and Mina Chirikawa versus the Triangle of Madness, as we mentioned, in the one women's match.
I'm half looking forward to this, half not. The result will be halfway interesting because at least you get to see one of Michael Hamflett's precious directions for the upcoming pay-per-view.
Bits.
The fact that the trios match definitionally is all action means that if this gets off to a hot start, you don't have that sort of I'm getting pretty tired of that sort of flat atmosphere when the women come out because of 7 years of conditioning. And then they work the crowd into it to a degree, but not really some of the times. And it just gets a little bit bleak and depressing. Because of the genre, you'd expect this to be all action from the jump and the crowd to be into it. So that's good. They should have more heat than the usual women's match on Dynamite, of which there's only one, of course. So, yeah, higher expectations for atmosphere and action and all the cool things. I never need to see Julia Hart do an Undertaker rope run as long as I live. Let's stop pretending she has presence because she was in a spooky stable once. It's driving me nuts, and it has done for quite some time. So actual match quality, I don't know. Sky Blue is in that awful position where there's clearly something to her. I've seen her go ham in the ring on occasion. She's clearly up for it, but she ain't going to get the reps and she's not going to get the polish, and she's on that treadmill, and it's annoying to watch. Tekla, having had way more experience, can hopefully carry the load. If one of the Brawling Birds just defeated Tekla, then my new prophecy could come to light. So I don't hate that as a finish. So I'm interested in the finish. And I think the match should be better and at least better received than a lot of the women's matches on Dynamite of late.
They're not going to run it back with Mina, are they? Rather than one of the Brawling Birds.
I mean, look, Mina's over. Mina's got, incredible live show charisma. So I can understand why Tony Khan would go that Route 1 temptation. But I'd go with one of the Brawling Birds for this. It's different. And they are both a great stylistic match for Tekla. We've seen Hayter and Tekla before. I feel like it was not as good as I thought it was going to be, really. But a bit leaner, a bit more chemistry established. It could go again, and it could be really good.
Lick of paint as well with this Brawling Birds thing, isn't it? You get like a bit of a. This feels like a fresh match, even though it's not.
Yes.
Because she's now part of this group rather than just
Now
Jim
wearing,
Hayter.
the Union Jack.
Correct.
But it is, the one women's match on this card, which means we need to get to the name of the game. But before that, of course, Sidge, the aim of the game.
The aim of the game is to identify to the hour, minute, and second the first time you hear the first note for the first entrance theme for the first woman to come out and compete for the only women's match on Dynamite. The idea being, let me let you in on a little secret, okay? Conspiracy Corner. Have you ever noticed that this the one women's match on Dynamite tends to fall in that 1 hour 20 minute, 1 hour 25 minute range, right? Why is that the case more often than not? Yeah, more often than not, you ask. Well, I have developed a theory, that if you, most weeks, the odd, interstitial here, backstage promo there, in mixed match there, more often than not, that first hour is wall-to-wall balls, concentrated cock. You wouldn't think, really, that there's women on this show at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why is that, though? Why do they try and hide it? Well, it's 2019. Actually, no, it's 2020. No, it's 2021. Actually, no, it's 2022. No, it's 2023. That's 2024. No, it's 2025. That's 2026. If you don't put women on the show, which they feel like they don't really want to do, the wokes will kick off, right? But we have to give the wokes a little something. They'll leave them with something, okay? But also, the core audience is the blokes. You have to convince the blokes, yeah, we have to put women on. Ugh, I know, but if you subscribe to the sunk cock fallacy, you've already watched an hour of Dynamite by the time we have to put the women's on. But guess what? They're just here before the main event. Just one little attraction, one little sideshow that you don't really have to care about. And if you just give us 8 minutes and 2 seconds on average for 7 years of your time, then the men will come out in the main event. And if we can just nail it, to the hour, minute, and second, we'll really underscore, italicize, and put in bold what's really going on. Because what's really going on is that they are more concerned with like a really brute core audience in America to care about women's wrestling. They really want to preserve that core. They are busy thinking about Jim and Joe and Little Cock, Arkansas, because the idea is they want to keep them sweet, okay? They want to keep them sweet. So, picture the scene. They're in the bar or wherever they are, and they're just pounding some brewskis, talking about their bitch wives, and, they don't care about, they don't even like women. They have certain roles to play in this society, but, realistically, I don't need them on my TV. Hang on the subject. Joe, why'd you change the channel to the cookery program? I don't want to make cuisine. That's Sheila's job, whatever she was called last week. That is the job of Deirdre.
I think it was Alice.
That was Alice,
of course.
It was
Yeah.
Alice does the cooking, she does the cleaning, and she does the ironing as well. So please take off the cookery program and put the wrestling man back on my telly. Okay? Well, actually, Jim, these are women athletes, and they are coming out to wrestle for the only women's match on Dynamite. Women athletes? Well, what the hell is that? Explain to me this concept you speak of women athletes. It sounds to me like an oxymoron. Why ain't they wearing aprons? Well, they're not here to cook, Jim, as I've established. They are here to wrestle. Like going back to Attitude Era days. Where's the mud? Where's the jelly? Is it bra and panties action going on? Am I going to have to jack you right here in this bar? Well, first of all, you don't have to do anything. Second of all, no. There's no mud. There is no jelly. There ain't no bra and panties. They're going to have a strong back and forth, stiff. Oh, yeah, it's getting stiff. No. I'm talking about the hard-hitting action, not how much blood is in your erect penis right now, Jim. Are you to tell me that the women, without getting them titties out, without getting them assholes out, are here to wrestle each other, and that's just it? Yes. And you know what? Quite frankly, I'm looking forward to it. They don't do a good enough job of building these talents, but in fact, they are extremely great at wrestling, and I'd like to see more of them. Oh, you mean the nipples and stuff? No. Oh, you mean their gooches? No. I'm talking about more of their in-ring prowess. You want to see the women do men stuff? Oh, check it out. Joe voted for Obama, everybody. Joe voted for Obama. Joe's woke. Joe's gone woke. So that's Jim and Joe. I've done the cat. So basically, all that's left to do now is do what I could easily do at the start of this missive and just jingle-eyes that bitch. When the women come out to play, the main event ain't too far away. That's the aim of the game. Ah, Jesus Christ. The name of the game...
I think I've done the cat. Might be the funniest part of that this week. Done the cat.
It's like a checklist in my head that I feel like I need to do. So that's the aim of the game, obviously.
Yeah.
It's to get it to the hour minute second. Name of the game is Unbooked Girl. She's not a part of no Tony's world. I bet she's never on Dynamite. I bet Tony never told her why. He won't try for an and when she knows that she's not gonna get no time. And when she wrestles, don't pay her no mind. Unboot girl, she's no part of no Tony's world. Ladies' night.
Excellent.
Unbooked girl. Do you like that one?
Really do.
Decent, innit?
I love the end flourish is so great.
It's the sting, innit?
Yeah. That's, yeah.
Oh, dear. So, as always, thanks to the guys to take care of the
data.
Thanks for this sort of thing.
Just absolute drive-by asshole midway through that.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you've got to get...
It's not him, he's just...
No, yeah, that's their conversation. It's not your fault.
It's verbatim.
Why is there only one women's match on? They want to book the product around that person.
Mm. Yeah.
They can say, that they're the woke ones compared to the Fed and all the rest of it. It proof's in the pudding. And the pound in the puddings. So there's no proof. Everyone says that.
And there's no pudding match.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the pound in the pudding, in front of the pudding, but there's no proof in no pudding.
The Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair, at Adam Wilton 4, and Jose Palomar is at the Ho 11 on X. By the way, a little plug for Adam Blair, actually. He's selling his WrestleMania ticket if you're interested. There's a link on his Twitter, at Adam Wilton 4 as well.
Get well soon, mate.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see
Get
him
well
all in.
soon.
But, it's quite the man himself. Captain Nuggets brought the score level last week. So Hamflet with 4 points for the year, myself on 4, Sidge on 1. What's your guess for this week for the one women's match?
It's tricky without other stuff, but then it's not because
John Moxley's probably going to wrestle.
Yeah, we've got definitely Moxley.
Oh, hang on. There is a new member of the Don Callis family, I think. Volador Jr.
Oh, okay.
So you could wrestle
Could
him.
do, couldn't he? Yeah. Keep that fire burning.
Fire.
I'll go 121. A mini box off of Wilborn this week rather than just going right up to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Flat.
Yeah.
You don't care about specifics.
Nah.
That's the whole point of the game, mate. So maybe you want to think about it.
I like you guys to win it.
You're so weird and uncompetitive.
I got no feeling for that. I like learning because my thing is I'm forgetful, so I always forget the aim and the name.
Who was the 42nd Intercontinental Champion?
You need to give me like 10 minutes on that. But I always forget the aim and the name each week, so I like that for the benefit. That's what I get out of this. And then we get to this bit, and it's like, I've sort of checked out at this point. Like, I kind of want it more for you guys because you want it more. It's just nice. That's my friends happy.
I will go with my usual guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
hang on.
Talk us through the booking of this show as well, because you alluded to that earlier.
So, Hangful, what was yours again?
121.
Flat as you heed. Okay. Boom, let's go ignite. Set my fat cock in a flash of light, and then a boom, and then a coom, dynamite.
Yeah, that's what they say.
What he says.
Then what does Excalibur say?
Yes, what you know what that means? We've got a main event. No, I'm on the opener.
And Jim's just in his pants. Let's get to the ring. Yeah.
I reckon they could go. They could 90 seconds limited commercial interruption that bitch with Ospreay PAC. That feels like the thing to do.
Somebody should tweet that if they do, because they'll get themselves on Dynamite based on last week. This with limited hashtag limited like interruptions to commercial.
Great.
We should make that a game. We should try and tweet something to get on there.
Oh, they could. Because the other 2 announced matches ain't main eventing, so this might be.
Contract signing, main event. We're going to bloody him up.
Yeah. I'm gonna. You know what? When you make like really irrational decisions when you're behind the 8 ball, and you don't really sort of think straight, and you just think, well, what if this thing if everything I would ordinarily do isn't working,
yeah,
this thing that would never work in a million years must work because what I'm doing isn't working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play Joe Linton on the left wing. I'm going to play Joe Linton on the left wing against Everton. That's what I'm going to do.
It's adjacent to the gambler's fallacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 0-39.
Oh.
Wow.
They do it once in a while. One of us has to catch that week, don't they? You know?
It has been a while since they've since they've said, "Oh, you're expecting it in the second hour." Guess again.
Do you think it's a concentrated cock, do you? You sexist. How dare you? It's actually in the first hour.
We're getting this all out of the way, so the second hour can be concentrated cock. Although we could get a Mercedes return, which would be very exciting. But let us know your thoughts ahead of Dynamite tonight in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, you can follow all 3 of us, sort of. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
HamfletX@gmail.com. I'm also on Cameo.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
On the cat. You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back later on today with the NXT review, but for now, this has been the Dynamite preview. My thanks to Hamflet Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.